Sound good to you out there? Great. Well, I'm sad to announce the passing of George Hettinga. For anyone who hasn't heard of it, it happened. Squeezed a little bit more than 3 years out of the announcement in '83 that he had 3, maybe 4 years to live. So, he managed to squeeze those out. Managed to beat Hep C before they had the pill. Right now they're still doing like chemotherapy with interferon. He found out they were charging him $5,000 for the shots and then $5,000 to inject them. And he said, he took the last interferon, the last 3 interferons, and said, I'll be doing that myself. I can stick it in my thigh just fine. George was the last person I knew in the state of Iowa that had a legal prescription for laudanum. He was given laudanum from the age of 3 on. And in this recent situation in prison, they found out that Suboxone did the very same thing for his intestinal system that the laudanum did. Which would have been really good information, because at the end, there's only one manufacturer of laudanum in the country right now. And bottles that used to cost him $50 are now costing him $5,000. I'm sure the Suboxone would have been cheaper. But through George's entire life, he did, as I do, and have, learned the art of poison. The art of poison, killing the pain. The art of poison, killing the pain. The art of poison, reaching visceral flames. The art of poison, kill the pain, kill the pain, kill the pain. The art of poison. The art of poison, seeing my life change. The art of poison, breaking through restraints. The art of poison, reaching visceral flames. The art of poison, kill the pain, kill the pain, kill the pain. The art of poison. God of poison, see my life change. God of poison, breaking through restraints. God of poison, reaching visceral flames. God of poison, kill the pain, kill the pain, kill the pain. God of poison. By piece, for me the puzzle goes fast. For some that suffer each and every piece, they're trying to make the puzzle last. They're trying to make the puzzle last. They're trying to make the puzzle last. The art of poison. The art of poison. Now, those of you who knew George well and played with him knew that enough notes was not necessarily a problem. He always had enough notes. And I used to try to suggest to him that there was spaces between the notes that were more important than the notes. And a song that I wrote called Gravestones, George had a breakthrough on, and wrote one of the best lead parts, I think, are all the time we played together and recorded. And it was because it was simple and because of the way it bounced. Now, I worked in the funeral industry for a while, and on trip out to Stone City, coming off 151, you hit that road that takes you over there before you make the other turn, and you're lined up with a cemetery. And I used to make that trip quite a bit. I noticed, man, those gravestones are in a really nice, tight row. It must be, you know, comforting to know there'd be some sense of order on the ground in your life forever. And that's how we got gravestones. How about them gravestones in a row on the straight white lines, so I know where I go. There'd be some sense of order. Don't want no straight of confusion on the ground. And you let it forever. Forever. I've asked myself this question quite a bit. I asked it of George quite a bit. Doesn't matter now because, ready or not, he's there. I wanted to write a Johnny Cash style gospel number. That was my motivation behind writing the song. And I thought it did pretty good, but Seth told me that I took a normally simple thing and just made it as complicated as hell. And I stopped playing it. Shortly after I wrote it. Within 72 hours after writing the song, it didn't feel like the day again for 10 years. Sometimes he's just an asshole. Usually he's a right asshole. You know. Sometimes he's just an asshole. Are you ready to stand tall for the man? Are you ready? Do you have an eternal plan? Are you ready to stand tall before the man? Take Jesus by the hand and carry on. Got the Bible like a bottle of salvation medicine. then push up on your Buddha. Toy and Duran, take all of that wisdom, put it into an action plan. When vanity's a curse, you'll face your best and worst. Don't wait till it's too late to understand. Before you're standing tall before the man. Are you ready to stand tall before the man? Are you ready? Do you have an eternal plan? Are you ready to stand tall before the man? Take Jesus by the hand and carry on. Try and explain what you have done with your whole life exposed to everyone. How you succeed, where you fail, how you can prevail. Instead of working out your arguments, try to recognize, reform, refrain, repent. Don't wait till it's too late to understand. Before you're standing tall for the man. Are you ready to stand tall for the man? Are you ready? Do you have an eternal plan? Are you ready to stand tall for the man? Take Jesus by the hand and carry on. Race along without sin on that final judgment day. But it is also said, faith without works is dead. That God is everything and everywhere and everyone, then we believe in all things. No matter what tomorrow brings. And this is why I sing the song. Are you ready? Wasn't too subtle, was it? When I first got out to Los Angeles, I noticed that the homeless problem was immense. I'd never experienced it anywhere else like that. But I noticed something else, that it just kind of occurred to me that, well, this was a bum's paradise. It didn't really freeze. Came when it was warm. People out there threw so much away of value. There was a brief period of time in my life that I did trash day in the community I lived in Encino and in Sherman Oaks, and would make a decent living just on trash day, throwing out 150-year-old cane chairs with caning missing out of them. Whole boxes of lead crystal glass and things like that. It just was amazing to me what they would throw away. And so it's never good to be homeless, but it truly is a bum's paradise. And that was my closing song for so many years. George loved that song more than any of it, but he wanted to practice it constantly. I said, George, I've been playing this song for 25 years, and if we have to practice it every time, 2 and 2 times, I'm going to get to a point where I don't play it anymore. And sure enough, that's what happened. And I hope he's sitting there with the blue strat, I'm in heaven, and now he can play it. Bum's Paradise. Oh, what a beautiful day. Right here for free, we can do. Excuse my appearance, officer. What did you say? Move away. Why should I? It's a bum's paradise. Just a bum's paradise. It's a bum's paradise. Just a bum's paradise. Just a bum's. Horse music, go west. With a good life has to spare. Some atomic ethnic races, some wild and mighty stairs. In the air, it's a bum's paradise. Just a bum's paradise. It's a bum's paradise. Just a bum's paradise. Days burn off without an end. Just pick your scabs off and be complacent. Or even the auto, climb the band. Hanging man. It's a bum's paradise. It's a bum's paradise. It's a bum's paradise. It's a bum's paradise. 10, 20, 30, any price. Any price you pay is. Alright, when I was here last time, I pulled a song from the archives way back. I think it was something like number 20 or so. And I told you, and it's kind of, the numbering system for me is, I only number the ones that I wrote. Jeff and I wrote like 108 together. I know certain numbers of those songs because, for us, because they were important to me. But, I couldn't tell you probably half the titles anymore. But this one is number 8. There is a little town on a lost dirt road, full of little dreams, people who don't know alone. Their fortunes root in the ground, and their smiles fly on the air. A voice speaks a ginger cake, someone for what you pay. There is a simple man whose feet such the dust as heaven's a hamlet until his dreams call him mad dust. There once was a time when little towns lined the road. Freedom could be somewhere bound, dreams have a place to hold. Where the time is lost, and a lover to find a friend. Learn a luck will light a fire, a place for travel to end. So you see, I searched this road for a stone wall, ivy grown, light in a child's smile for a thought. visions along. Real should set you straight. This is only a song. Little comes in no far-off place, on a real road. Hides inside the poet's mind, somewhere along these simple chords. I'm the man with dusty shoes who seeks this phantom thrill. Now I found the perfect chord to my little town. It's just 2 steps over the next hill. Just 2 steps over the next hill. Just 2 steps over the next hill. I got one more for you. I was a huge Warren Zevon fan, still am, but so was George. We used to sit around up in his house and play, just bouncing back and forth off each other. Which ones we figured out. And then we'd get in arguments because he wanted to play it exactly as it was, and I'd be like, what's the purpose in that? They already got that. I rewrote it. I cut that chord out. It was useless. And I told Warren the same way. But when he was terminal, found out he was terminal, you know, for 20 years he'd gone to a dentist, his medical outlet, and he came back from touring and went to the dentist and said, man, I'm having shortness of breath all the time. And the dentist put him in a car and took him over to the hospital. And at the end of that day, they had results back to let him know he had a very rare form of lung cancer, and they gave him about 2 to 6 months to live. And he made it for almost 13 months. And in that time, he recorded the album The Wind. And everybody showed up, you know, to help him out with it. And of course, it won the Grammy for Album of the Year that year. So I wanted to write a tribute song to Warren. If you know his work well enough, you'll recognize that most of the lines are song titles, or a line from a song. One of the most misused quotes I ever heard is, you know, Warren checked himself, beat heroin the first time by putting himself in this crappy 2-story hotel on Gower called the Hollywood Hawaiian. And he did everything else but heroin. He drank, he smoked, and he just would let himself go outside and get heroin. And that's how he kicked it the first time. And in the song, Desperados Under the Eaves, he comes out from that and looks down Gower Avenue. And you know, at the end of the song, he says, I was sitting in the Hollywood Hawaiian and listening to my air conditioner hum. And he hums off and he said, look away down Gower Avenue. And in the '84 Olympics, when they were running the marathon through Hollywood, Kurt Gowdy came on and said, and in the immortal words of Warren Zevon, look away down Gower Avenue. I'm thinking, comparing a heroin addict's recovery to these great athletes. Anyway, this one's for Warren. It's called Dead Man Rockin'. He was a dead man rockin' to the grave. He was a dead man rockin'. A soul away, a dead man rocking. The soul he wasn't trying to say, a dead man rocking. Rocked us through the land, free in the grave. So Johnny struck up the band, inside the boys that lodge in the land. And the fools, he don't break, sure will bend. But life will kill him in the end. Dead man rockin', dead man rockin', dead man rockin', dead man rockin'. All the song the radio ever plays is Werewolves in London. When he wrote them all, the dark ones, the funny ones, from the history of pop culture, and it never all the way, getting that right. My soul ain't trying to stay, getting that right. Right, 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 free and brave. George, they'll probably join you sooner than I think.
Thank you, Groundswell. Clear?